What's up, everyone? Here is our new unit, Tall Tales, and we're going to be telling and writing some tales. We're going to be doing some literary analysis. Welcome to this new unit. Hopefully, you enjoy it. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. I know that we're working independently, but we're going to try and just, rally together. I don't know what the group editing will look like or the group chats, but it is a lot of fun when you work with other people. So I'm going to try and figure out a way that we can share all of this. All right. Anyways, there's going to be times where you're going to want to pause this recording just so you can work on your own. But if you want to just listen to it all the way through and then work, it's totally up to you. So just like in class, let me just walk you through this and feel free to press pause or forward. But that's what we're going to go. Okay, so here's my mouse. You should be able to see that. Lesson 1, Tall Tales. Here's the unit overview. We're going to be finished this unit in maybe about 2 to 3 weeks. So, well, it's not a terribly long unit. I had to cut out a few things just because we are online as opposed to in person. Anyways, there are a few examples of fantasy fiction in this unit, including tales of suspense in prose and verse. You will be able to practice your own narrative writing, including choosing titles and using direct speech for dramatic effect. All right, activity 1, our knowledge of tall tales. Okay, what is a tale? Not the thing on the behinds of animals. A tale is a short, often anonymous, which means you don't really know who it is. A tale is a short, often anonymous story which relates imaginary events. Working in pairs, which you obviously can't do, look at the following questions and discuss your ideas and response to them. So after I read these, feel free to press pause. A. How many different kinds of tales can you think of? Another way of saying tale is a story, right? Folk tales, like there are romantic tales, fantasy fiction. What kind of tales, kind of different tales can you think of? Why do you think people tell each other tales? That's a good question. What do you think makes a good tale? Write down those characteristics in the space below. So you can scroll down and you can just, type. In class, I probably would have given you about 5 minutes to talk with a partner. So that means if you can think of maybe one or two sentences here, or sentences, yeah, another sentence or two here, and maybe about 2 or 3 characteristics, I think that's enough for that time. So feel free to press pause and press pause. Okay, I'm going to keep moving. Now I'm going to read Jim and the Boy Who Ran Away. If you don't want me to, if you don't hear my voice, feel free to forward this part. I will let you know that I'm finished by highlighting. Can I do highlight all? I'll highlight that so you can see that in while you're scribbling on the thumbnails. Okay. The Boy Who Ran Away. There was a boy whose name was Jim. His friends were very good to him. They gave him tea and cakes and jam and slices of delicious ham and chocolate with pink inside, and read him stories through and through, and even took him to the zoo. But there was the dreadful fate befell him, which I now relate. You know, or at least you ought to know, for I often told you so, that children never are allowed to leave their nurses in a crowd. Now this was Jim's especial foible. He ran away when he was able, and on this inauspicious day he slipped his hand and ran he slipped his hand and ran away. He hadn't gone a yard when bang! With open jaws a lion sprang and hungrily began to eat the boy beginning at his feet. Ooh, let me say that again. With open jaws a lion sprang and hungrily began to eat the boy beginning at his feet. Now just imagine how it feels when first your toes and then your heels, and then by gradual degrees your shins and ankles, calves and knees, are slowly eaten bit by bit. No wonder Jim detested it. No wonder that he shouted, "Hi!" The honest keeper heard his cry. Though very fat, he almost ran to help the little gentleman. "Ponto!" he ordered as he came, for Ponto was the lion's name. "Ponto!" he cried with angry frown. "Let go, sir! Down, sir! Put it down!" The lion made a sudden stop. He let the dainty morsel drop, and slunk reluctant to his cage, snarling with disappointment rage. But when he bent over Jim, the honest keeper's eyes were dim, the lion having reached his head. The miserable boy was dead. When the nurse informed his parents, they were when the nurse informed his parents, they were more concerned than I can say. His mother, as she dried her eyes, said, "Well, it gives me no surprise. He would not do as he was told. His father was self-controlled, bade all the children round attend to James's miserable end, and always keep a hold of nurse, for fear of finding something worse." Ooh, kind of dark for this early morning, don't you think? Activity 2, cautionary tales. Ooh, like I said, I will do this so you know when to stop because you didn't want to hear Mr. Nickenor's voice. Cautionary tales. This poem was referring to a cautionary tale. What do you think this means? Press pause now and you can type out a couple sentences. What does a cautionary tale mean? Okay, let's move on. Activity 3. Paraphrase what happened to Jim in the tale. So I'd like you to tell me, what do you think happened to Jim? All right. So give me maybe 1 to 3 sentences. What happened to Jim? Okay. Now activity 4, brutally honest. I want you to evaluate this piece of writing. Feel free to go back and read it a couple times, discuss in pairs, which you obviously can't. Just tell me whether you like the tale or not, but give your reasons. Look at the bold. Record those reasons in the space on the next page, which is on the bottom. Think about the influence of humor in this, the description, the different rhyme. Provide 3 pieces of evidence to support your point of view. That's POV, point of view. If you hate it, great. If you love it, great. But please provide support for your point of view. So I put something at the bottom here. After reading Jim, the Boy Who Ran Away, I found myself confused. Okay, so that's great that you found yourself confused. But find some evidence. For one, I had trouble decoding a variety of important vocabulary terms that were used in the writing within the tale. Okay, so that's good. Examples of these words included inauspicious, which I found to be frustrating and confusing for me to decode. So I think that would be okay. I know that I'm not with you in class, and I put 3. Did I put 3? Using direct references, give 3. I'll put 2 to 3. Okay. So 2 to 3, right there. Just don't put 1. Find a couple things. So here I have 2. In class, I probably would have given you an example of a third one, but since we're not in class and I can't do this live, we'll leave it at that. Okay. So here's your assessment. You can write that down. So your assignment is to do activity 1. So to sum up, tell me about what you know about tales, what kind of tales that you know. You're going to be reading Jim and the Boy Who Ran Away. Then you're going to talk about, what do you think a cautionary tale is? Paraphrase what you think happened to Jim. And then tell me in your brutally honest form what your evaluation of this writing piece is. If you loved it, tell me some evidence from this tale. If you want to do some direct quotes, feel free to do that. In this summary that I did, I just put that I was confused. And for some of you, you might have been confused because of the different vocabulary that was in it. And so that's why I used this word, for example. Okay. So if you have any questions, I suggest that you would reply in the post about this language arts assignment so that you can help each other out. If you see a question and I haven't answered it, can you please be one of the first to help your classmates out? And yeah, let's talk soon.